Hi guys, we are here for the first round of the second standard IQ.
Yep, the second one. And we have myself, Akil Jappi, and Don Williams.
Hey.
For you, we have a pretty grindy first match. Grindy being a very, very big understatement. Shakeel Soopee on Grixis Energy against Taahir Teladia on Bant approach.
These guys are just about to start. Shakeel taking a mulligan. I mean, not really where you want to be in any game of Magic, but yeah, it's pretty important because these guys they care about their cards. Like any single card is potentially game winning for Shakeel. I mean, he's got some big hitters. He's got Glory Bringer. He's got Scarlet Guard. He's got Chandra.
Ooh, I see 3 Glory Bringers.
Even a glint sleeve left unchecked is going to cause problems for the pure control deck on the other side of the table. Rekindling Phoenix. There's a lot of threatening. T-Hulks. Word Virtuoso as well. I mean, the pressure it puts on the board isn't negligible.
And we see Shaq scrying Magnus play down, probably aware that his opponent is playing an approach deck. And
sure.
Let's just transition to the hand cam quickly. So in Shaq's hand, I did see double copy of Fatal Push, which is going to be dead here. And yes,
classic turn 2 for any blue deck in the format, really. Search first Canto.
I found a lot of the time in this format, if you don't have search on turn 2, it's pretty hard to keep up with a lot of the other blue decks.
So because they're doing the same thing. Shaq also obviously not. There's very little reason to main deck Spell Pierce
or negate for that matter.
Which is probably the. But I mean, on the draw, it's the only way to answer a turn 2 search.
Yeah. And Taahir actually declining to play Gideon. Interesting choice.
Oh, he's holding up Disallow. Does he have double blue?
He does have double blue. He has both Island and Glacial Fortress.
Oh, I can see that it's an island. It is definitely an island.
100%. Unfortunately, though, his islands are mismatched, and I despise mismatched islands. With a passion. Please, get other islands.
Triggered. Is Shaq playing Argyle's Bloodfast?
In his sideboard. I don't believe he's playing in main mode. I don't even think he's playing in sideboard. Those are Fatal Pushes.
Okay, because it's definitely a way to keep up with the blue-white deck. They don't really do anything to your life total early.
Conti that's definitely nice. Getting disallowed.
That's a good one. I don't. Yeah.
100% getting disallowed.
Please no, don't take my cards.
So what I've actually found is when you're playing against approach and you cast Conti, you shouldn't take approach because they don't actually have shuffle effects. You bottom approach when you see it because they can't get to it. Then take the counter spells.
Yeah. I mean, the removal is kind of useless against them.
Yep.
They're only going to play Torrential Gehulk later, which Taahir coincidentally has in hand, and is nearly at that stage of the game now.
A lot of the decks also don't even play Torrential Gehulk main mode.
Both players have done very little up until this point, which is ideal for Taahir. I mean, he's the deadlier of the decks.
Yeah, the slower of the two.
What is he thinking about? I don't actually know the contents of his hand.
I think he's considering playing Nissa or Gideon. Since he's a
Oh sure, he's doing that spicy Bant. It's not just the blue-white thing.
I don't believe it's right to dilute your approach deck with green specifically. Black at least gives you access to the Scarab Guard and Draska's Contempt. The damn spells in green aren't as relevant. I don't even know if he's playing the damn spells actually. I think it's possibly just Nissa.
She does get very threatening once he untaps with her because she it's another Ipnu Rivulet if you want
so
to describe. So
Taahir splashing green for only Nissa and in the sideboard Carnage Tyrant and Death Code Scavenger. Draska's Contempt coming down to exile this Nissa immediately.
Does he have a negate?
He does not. I believe he has Torrential Gehulk, Gideon, and I think Glimmer of Genius. Shaq now going up to 22.
Oh, looks like Shakeel missed a land drop there.
No, he did his land.
He made his land drop.
Unfortunately for Shaq though, his hand is a lot worse than Taahir's at the moment.
Taahir's had the selection of search was counted down from 10
Yeah.
too, so obviously his card quality is a little bit better than Shaq's at this
I think
point.
the other issue is game 1, Shaq is a lot more dead cards.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing fatal pushes, which, I mean, it has targets, but it's got no relevant targets.
And not only that, it's a bit of a problem for Shaq here where he has fatal pushes mainboard, he's seen 2 of them. His opponent has more draw spells than him, more counter spells than him.
Yeah. He really needs to start presenting threats.
And he doesn't have any at the moment. Like this Glimmer going uncontested, because Shaq actually can't. As one way of countering it in the main board, I think Supremo.
Yeah. And this is an awkward place to be in.
These Grixis decks are, in my opinion, very sort of schizophrenic. They're not sure if they want to be control decks
it's
or
difficult to
mid-range
classify
decks.
it because it's kind of a mid-range deck, but it's got a suite of counter magic and it's got removal. So you like it's like a mid-range counterspell deck. It's just strange because now you're trying to sit back, preserve your resources, let your opponent run themselves into your removal and counter magic, but at the same time you need to find gaps to deploy your threats. And they're not late game threats. Some of them can finish quite early. So now you have the choice. You tap out on turn 4 for your Rekindling Phoenix, or do you hold up to see what your opponent's doing? In this situation, I think you're always just tapping out for your threats because your opponent needs to answer it.
And
giving the approach deck time is bad.
And speaking of giving you approach deck time,
That's exactly what he's getting.
we just saw Approach of the Second Sun being cast, and that puts Taahir on 27. If that Search for Scanter flips in the foreseeable future, which it probably will.
Taahir's on 4 cards in the graveyard.
Oh, in fact, it doesn't matter
glory
because Shaq doesn't actually have enough power on board to kill Taahir before he gets to Approach of the Second Sun.
Yeah.
Because Taahir can just, okay, if it's not approach, bottom it. Well, put it in the bin.
That's 1.
So,
2.
5 cards remaining till Approach
He's
of the
got a
Second
Glimmer
Sun.
of Genius, which is another 4 cards in. So you could literally cast it on his next turn.
He's going to cast Gideon plus on Glorybringer, and that's probably going to seal the deal here. I don't see how Shaq can actually stop the approach from happening because of that Glimmer of Genius in hand now.
He's holding Essence Scatter, Fatal Push, and nothing really relevant there.
And he draws the Scatter Guard, is not fast enough. Taahir will win the next turn.
As shiny as it is, it's not going to do much for him, yeah.
And at this point, Taahir should be thinking Shaq is now on Grixis Energy as opposed to Grixis Control, as he's seen Glorybringer in the main board, and his opponent hasn't done much else.
Yeah, I wonder what these guys' sideboard plans are. This looks like the game is basically...
At this point, well, we now know, if Taahir is going to bottom both, he's just going to throw into, okay, he must have seen an approach.
Yeah, either he sees an approach or he's just not considering how deep he gets. Let's see if you can have a look at his hand.
And he's untapping. And he sees Settle the Wreckage.
The approach is an extra card into his deck.
I do think he did not draw an approach, actually. So probably a bit of a misplay for Taahir. Slight misplay. Don't think it matters too much.
He went bottom top. It could be this
I think
card.
the next card is just approach.
Yeah, there it is.
And that is game, so we won't even continue with this much longer. We'll have a look at the sideboards since this is just game.
Taahir might actually be playing around some sort of counter magic here. Shaq is holding up what looks like negate.
The thing is though, if I'm Taahir at this point, okay, never mind. It does look like he is going to play around the negate. For me, if I know my opponent is on...
There's a fumigate. Yeah, see, he's He's
bit
taking a little bit
conservative.
more conservative here.
A lot of the time, it's beneficial to know what's in your opponent's deck lists. Yeah, I should go back up to 25. Apologies, because I was almost certain that game was over at that point. In standard, it's very easy to just know what your opponents have in their deck based on, oh, okay, my opponent's on Grixis energy, therefore he should not have negate mainboard. Or any way to
Like
actually
a techie
counter.
negate.
Because
could be
negate's
a
the
thing
only
here.
way to counter approach there.
This is also a relatively small field, so you'll see a wide range of decks here.
And here we are seeing Shaq unfortunately miss his Scarab God trigger. Not that it matters too much. It's
Yeah, I
just
don't think
scooping.
he cares. Sure. So,
And we'll have a look at deck lists while they go to sideboards. On Shaq's side, Argyle's Bloodfast.
I think he
good.
brings those in. I mean, it's basically his only way to compete with a search for his counter that early, other than Glintsleeve Siphoner.
Other cards negate and do this.
Yeah, 100%. Early pressure from Gifted Etherborn might not be a bad idea.
Deadeye Tracker is also a card. I wouldn't really bring in Gifted Etherborn. That's more for the mid-range or creature-based decks. You don't really want to have double black on turn 2 in this deck. Because you also have to consider how many cards is he siding out. He's 100% siding out Magma Spray and Fatal Push.
Take out the pushes, take out the sprays. That a
So
Braid
that's
is
automatically 4.
possibly keepable.
So the reason why Blade is possibly keepable is because his opponent is more than likely siding in Regal Caracal.
Fair enough. I don't see anything else. Harness Lightning can stay. He can shave a lot of his removal.
Yeah.
So the sprays, the fatal pushes, maybe one Harness Lightning can drop. And then the rest stays in.
Yeah. Basically, I think he's going to side out Fatal Push, Upgrade, Magma Spray, and then side in Duress Negate. Then
So he's
Argyle's
got 4 to 5
Bloodfast is another
slots.
2 slots he can side in which case he'll probably side out
Just a copy of
some
Harness
one
Lightning.
number, like I think maybe 1 or 2 Honest Lightning for those 2 Argyle's Bloodfast.
Everything else is quite important here.
Or
Can't
maybe
keep
maybe
City
a
strong.
Torrential Gyalk and a Search for a Scanter, or a Search for a Scanter and Honest Lightning, since he now has a lot more creatures.
Yeah, on Taahir's side, yeah, the cats probably come in.
So here's the thing. If you expect to play against a lot more negates post board, a lot of the time it's a good idea to shave some number of approach.
Yeah, well, we're assuming that Shaq is going to be bringing in duresses and negates.
Another card I'd really hope he sides out is Spell Swindle.
What is
card.
that?
It's a bit too expensive in terms of casting cost for me.
I'm sure there's a funny situation where you cast the Spell Swindle and then you've just got double approach in your hand next
And then you
turn.
cast
You go,
both.
I win. Because it does give you a lot of mana. I mean, catching a Gear Hulk, although your opponent shouldn't be playing into it, but catching a Gear Hulk with that is absolutely backbreaking.
I
Giving
do
you a
think
+1
the
on
best
mana.
card he can side in is Carnage Tyrant. Why it's in his sideboard, I have no idea. For me, he should not be playing Dean, but he is. And Carnage Tyrant is one of the best cards you could possibly play against Control.
Yeah, his only way to deal with it is Gifted Etherborn, really.
And Gonti has Death Touch,
Sure, and Gonti. So the Etherborns are
which he's probably not siding in.
his only Gonti is an Etherborn as well.
Yeah, that's full.
Yeah, that's it. Unless you want the group block with like Glorybringer and Glintsleeve Siphoner, or a Scarab God and a couple of Whirl of Virtuoso token. There's no neat way for him to kill this. 2 Rekindling Phoenixes can block and kill it and then come back later, which is nice. But yeah, Carnage Tyrant very difficult for Shakeel to deal with.
I think another card is also Death Code Scavenger. I'm not too sure how Todd is going to sideboard, because he has a lot of cards in the sideboard.
I see him sideboard. It looks like they're done, but I see him sideboarding a similar way each game. He seems to transform into a slightly more creature-based deck.
mid-range
Yeah.
deck. And like siding
And
out
he
some
cuts
number
2
of
approaches. Yeah.
I mean, I
removes
played
the few
blue-white
negates.
approach, and a lot of the time I sided into approach of the cats. In fact, I don't think I actually won with approach that much. Just won with like Gideon cats.
Yeah, and Regal Caracal, because it's a fair threat. It puts 7 power on the board.
I do think Search is an extremely powerful card, but that has to come out if you're siding in creatures, which a lot of players don't actually do. And I don't think Toyd actually sided them out either, since I saw them while he was shuffling now. Players do look about ready to start. Okay, so post board, I do think it comes down to whether or not Shaq sees negates and how much Toy sided in. Because if Toy sided in a lot of creatures, I actually think Shaq is favored in this matchup because Shaq's creatures are just better.
Well, it's difficult for him to tussle with a Regal Caracal. It's more efficient in terms of power than any of the creatures in Shaq's deck. It's 5 mana for 7 power, which
At the
is bigger
same
than
time,
Gearhawk.
all of those creatures
Die
are
too.
really, really bad in the graveyard if your opponent has the scanner card.
Oh yeah, that is not something you want. Please
You
don't
may
do that.
remember doing coverage on a match where I played against Shaq, approach
Yeah.
versus Grixis, and
he just
a
took
scanner
the
card
cat.
just destroyed me. And Tahir's hand looks pretty land-like.
Scatter some white exile spell. There's a Nissa, which she seems to have kept in, but both players have kept their hands.
Yeah, Tahir on 2 lands. And we are going to see Argyle's Bloodfast.
Okay, I do like this card.
I agree, I think it's a pretty decent card. Has some relevance in a deck that has Phoenix, because if he needs to, once he flips Argyle's Bloodfast, he can just sack Phoenix, gain for life every turn. Or every second turn. And he also has Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, so very powerful card.
Taahir obviously having no haste creatures, meaning that it's relatively safe for Shaq to let his life total dip. I mean, I wouldn't be doing that against a Glorybringer deck, but otherwise, it's kind of fine.
And yeah, Tahir had to top deck that Sandpetal Grove, put it in play tap.
I think he kept the 2-lander because he had Search, and it digs you.
I do agree that keeping 2 lands with Search is very good, but a lot of the time those Search decks have 26 lands, and both of these players only have 25. Ooh, Transient
wow.
Torch of Defiance.
There's a hell of a board state all of a sudden from Shaq.
I don't see
Tahir's
coming
got a problem.
back.
He's got a big problem here. He's just going to take damage.
So,
not
he
good.
exiles the Phoenix.
Not good.
That is one of the reasons
There is a Chandra on the table.
There is
And
a
if
Chandra
Tahir
on the table.
doesn't find a cost out, does he have a cost out in hand?
I don't
He's really got to get a
know.
cost out, like now.
I think I saw cost out in hand, and he in fact is going
I
to
did
top
see
deck
a
later.
white spell in his hand.
I saw Settle the Wreckage. I'm not sure about the second white spell. I think it's a Fumigate and a Settle the
and a
Wreckage.
Fumigate. I would have assumed he took out some of the Fumigates.
Yeah, I would have cut down to 1. Because Settle's
Maybe
just
he's
good enough against his
drawing
opponent's deck.
the Fumigate there.
So he drew the Aether for this turn.
Yeah.
Couldn't bottom it, he needs the
I'm
land.
not a fan of Settle the Wreckage in the face of just a Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, but it might become necessary at some point.
And Nissa for 1. Plussing up to Scry. Sorry, Nissa for 2. Is going to see disallow plus land. He needs the land. He can't afford to not take the land.
Leaves the land on top.
And Shaq's going to lose a life draw card. I think Shaq's engine at this point,
It's online.
It
is definitely online.
he has lands in hand. He's not going to be missing land drops. He's just ahead on board. Planeswalker active, an enchantment that's pretty good in the matchup, a creature that draws cards.
Swing. Does he plus to kill the Nissa here?
I think that's good.
Like just the most reasonable thing to do.
His opponent's not in any danger of dying at this point, so I see you up plussing up. It's going to be another Argyle's Bloodfast. He's going to exile it.
Fine.
Nissa is dead. Plays the Scarab God.
Okay. This is obviously Settle the Wreckage territory. For
Well, he has the
Tahir.
Fumigate. He's definitely going to Fumigate here.
He just drew that land off the top.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well,
If
you
it's a
saw he
tapped land,
slided
isn't it?
with.
No, it's a Santa.
Oh,
It's coming in
It's
tapped.
coming in tapped. Ooh. So he's just going to have to hold up Settle and hope Shaq does not have negate.
Oh, it is painful. Does Shaq have a negate? Oh, he's just plowing into his deck.
So if Shaq plays it down,
Does he plus the Chandra here? No, wait, he has to cast the spell.
okay, yeah. So Shaq is just playing it down, settle the deckage. A way that settles the one way he can lose this game.
Taahir happy to take the 2 damage there.
Shaq
Get Chandra
pressing
energy.
up for
Chandra is an emblem
top
range
card.
at this point. She's on
Heals
7.
Shaq another 2.
Taahir is in poor shape.
I don't think Shaq wants to commit anything to the board here.
He's 2 spells away from dead. I feel like next turn he could just emblem Chandra, play 2 spells, and
Yeah.
be done.
So Shaq decided whether or not he wanted to play Whirl of Virtuoso, they're realizing
does have a disallow on top. We know that.
at the same
This is a
time,
cost
Taahir
out?
is in
No,
range
it's a
of
global.
dying to just Shaq's board at this point.
Shaq has a no, he's just gonna dig a little deeper.
I'm surprised.
Not a negate.
Shaq actually kept in Harness Lightning. I was surprised when he did that against me as well. Yeah, it seems
It's versatile enough. It kills Gearhawks. It generates you energy for your Glint Sleeve Siphoner.
The thing is, I've also seen him keep a blade in this matchup. I think he's specifically aiming to kill those cats,
Okay, sure.
knowing that your opponent's more than likely going to side them in.
Sure. Taahir, I don't think he bottomed the disallow. I didn't quite see what
No,
happened
he
there.
kept
He
the
must
disallow,
keep it because
And
Chandra's
I
on
think he
emblem
drew
range.
Supreme Wall as well.
What is he looking at there? It's an Essence Scatter.
Not negate. Negate.
Sure. Okay. So at this point, he's got 4 energy, so he can disallow and negate here.
This is good. Okay, so Shaq attempting to
gonna
harness
Harness
lighting his own Scarab God, just so he can gain 3 energy, which pushes it up to 4, I believe, which is enough for him to draw a card.
Deep. Disallow's gonna hurt that Chandra. I feel like he's going to just do it to make his opponent
And yeah,
happy.
so Shaq is paying 2 energy, drawing a card there. Oh, and lost 2 life from Argyle's Bloodfast. Did not get that. He has to play around.
All sorts of counter magic here. Taahir does have a gripful. He's drawn a bunch of cards. I mean, he's done very little this game.
So if I'm Shaq here, a line I can take is, yeah, he's just gonna plus up Chandra. It's a Gonti on top.
Very safe.
Cost the Gonti because it's a card that your opponent has to count.
It meets with the disallow, I'm sure. Wait, he's got Essence Scatter.
Essence Scatter. The downside of that is that means Shaq no longer has to play around, settle the deck.
Just for this turn, certainly.
And so Taahir has to think to himself, is it worthwhile countering the Gonti? If you counter the Gonti, you take 7.
What's he gonna see?
And okay, not countering it.
He gets.
Well, we don't see what he gets because he puts it down immediately.
But I'm sure he didn't talk that.
It's probably a counter spell. Like, he did it so quickly, it has to be a counter spell. He didn't even look at the rest of the cards. Now move to combat, just attach for 2.
Yeah.
And this is going to add up. The longer Taahir doesn't deal with this creature, the more cards Shaq's going to draw. So Taahir is probably going to be forced to fumigate here and then die to a Chandra emblem. Or he can hold up disallow and die to creatures attacking him.
Is there a negate underneath the Gonti?
It could be a disallow, it could be a supreme will. If it is a counter spell, this is game.
Here comes a Glimmer.
Okay, that's end
I
of turn.
think he lets it happen. That's fine. Shakeel perfectly okay to just let Taahir
He's
draw
drawing the
cards.
Cornish Tyrant. Unfortunately,
It's not gonna do much for him.
I don't think that's the right decision to
Unless
keep Sunbed
Shaq has some sort of counter magic, either Mana Leak effect or the disallow or negate here. The fumigate could well put Taahir in a reasonable position.
The problem with the Fumigate is his opponent is going to emblem a Chandra and his opponent
And
has
then die.
3
Okay,
spells.
sure.
in hand.
And Taahir is on 10 life, so 2 spells will kill him.
And Fumigate will get him up to 13, so 3 spells will kill him. But once the emblem is on the field, there's no way to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's also like I don't know if you win after that. Shakeel could just
He top deck the cast out.
kill him with 1 spell at a time.
The problem with cast out is if he casts out Chandra, he'll
no
probably
settle
die to the
wreckage.
current board.
Yeah, that's enough damage to kill him. It's 1, 2, it's 4.
He moves
5,
to
6,
discard,
7, 8.
has to hold up, settle the wreckage. So Shaq can decide to emblem Chandra mainboard.
I think he's got a lot of options here. We're most likely going to see a game 3.
I'd be surprised if we don't see a game 3.
He's got another Chandra in hand. Carnage started looking really sad in Tahir's hand. Emblem. Is it an emblem?
Attempting to disallow.
Here's the disallow. Let's see what's under that Conti.
I'm actually fairly certain he can let this happen. Because he can just attack for 9, then play his second Chandra plus up, deal him 2.
A little tense. Shaq thinking about it, but I think he's fine. Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna play my World of Virtuoso, get a pile of energy. What is he considering here?
I think
Does
that
he
was
play
wrong.
the Chandra pre-combat or post-combat?
I think that was wrong.
What? Jamming the
World,
Virtuoso?
yeah.
There? Sure. Let's get in for 9.
I suppose he's so far ahead, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but now Fumigate is even better for Tahir.
Yeah.
It puts him out of... does he cost the Chandra now?
I don't think he does. I
He
think
can,
if
he
he
can
didn't...
safely do it next turn, so
Yeah.
he can pass this one, pass the next one, and then even Fumigate's not good enough because Tahir will be taking 4.
So Tahir's on 1 at the moment. Well, let's not forget that. Tahir down to 1. The Fumigate will gain him a bunch of life.
About 4, yeah.
And now we're going to see Supreme Wall
Energy,
for him to dig for
deep.
anything.
Let's see what he sees. Land, cast out, approach of the second sun, and
Approach is not good enough.
Ether Hub?
We may actually see, if Shaq does not have a counterspell underneath that Gonti, him killing his own creatures to stop Tahir from gaining life, effectively.
Tahir, he needs to keep Tahir below, or 4. He needs to keep him 4 below.
Yeah.
Because he's got...
So he only
2 damage
needs
on
to
board.
kill 1 creature.
I think he took the cost out.
I think so too. Torrential Gurk on top. Do you bottom Torrential Gurk? I believe you do, since you
I
have
don't
not
want the
cost.
Gurk.
Yeah, he hasn't cost Settle the Wreckage, so
He's far too choked on mana this game. If he had... I mean, he's got a lot of options, but he can only do maybe one of them each turn. Just because of how much grip Shakeel has on this game. Tahir's... Yeah, he's limited by the amount of money he has. If he made
And-
an extra 2 land drops, he would have been in a lot better position, but this is not great for him.
this also all comes down to he kept 2 lands.
He did keep it 2 land.
Kept 2 lands, one of which was an island, the other one was an Aether Hub. Then for the rest of the game, he kept drawing Sun Petal Grove.
Yeah, tapped sources, couldn't fumigate on time.
Like flipping the search here isn't even much of a thing. He has negate effectively. So fumigate. Shaq should attempt to kill his own creatures.
You might show him a counter spell first. I think he's got a disallow. No.
He's just going for the glimmer. Fumigate dissolves. He goes down 4 creatures.
Putting Tahir to 5 points of life, I believe. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Tahir goes to 5.
And
I don't think he's forgetting that Scarab Guard trigger again. Yeah, just
yeah, he's remembering it this time. Puts it
Side.
sideways. Okay. In future, you probably shouldn't do that because it has to come back to his hand before he untaps. XL stop card. I don't think it's worth casting that Siphoner at this point. Just deal him 2.
Let him take the 2 damage.
Oh, there's a Birdie Bringer. That's good.
Dead. Okay. That's a way to win the game. Was it Regal Caracal? It wasn't Counterspell.
Oh, sure. Caracal's fine. I do think Shaq misplayed by playing the Wallaby into potential Fumigate.
Yeah.
Because his opponent was dead, regardless of what was going to happen. He didn't need to
he did.
put
Yeah,
more
he
things
gave
to
him
his
an
board.
extra point of life there by playing the Whirler. Because the Fumigate had an extra creature. I don't think there's much of a difference between the game plans now versus being on the draw and the play. I mean,
So, okay, we know Shaq more than likely sided in Duress and
yeah, the
deck.
Duresses are even better now.
I think he needs to maybe change his game plan for game 3. Creature-based game plan, probably
His
not the
Carnage
best.
Tyrants are not going to. I mean, he's going up some number of creatures, but the density of creatures in his deck is not that high anyway. I mean, even if he puts all of them in, he's still playing sub 20 creatures. I think it's 3.
At the same time,
4,
though,
5, 6,
he's
7,
then playing
9.
a lot less non-creature spells and search for a
Yeah,
scanner.
and the search is going to miss a lot more
He's going to miss a lot more. So he either needs to not play the creatures and keep searches in, or take the searches out. He is favored the longer the game goes anyway, so I actually think the correct option is playing a more controlling deck. And like, you can side in Carnage Time, it is a card his opponent can't deal with. Like, his opponent isn't aggressive
possibly
enough.
just the single Carnage Tyrant. Regal Caracals don't seem that important.
Yeah, like, his opponent can't kill him that quickly. His opponent can curve out, but then you can fumigate. The real threats are like Chandra that he has to worry about.
I have no idea what his plan is.
I don't think he sided anything actually, looking at what they sided.
Yeah, it happened way too quickly. There was no change. So he's still got the searches, and he's still got a bunch of creatures. There's a Death Gorge Scavenger in his deck. I just caught a peek of it now.
Yeah, he tends to side in almost all his
He's
creatures.
got a lot of creatures for a search for his counter deck. Oh, let's see how this plays out. Maybe it pays off. He could draw the right half of his deck here.
Well, it did come down to a game 3. It is being a very, very grindy game each time. Although that game 2, Shaq did not look like he was losing it. He was nowhere close to losing it. Irrigated Farmland tapped and Fated Pools tapped. Followed by
Pretty good.
Sandpaper.
But no search for his counter in turn 2.
His opponent will probably play. Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's not nice. What does he see? Supreme Will, Vizier of Many Faces cast out in 3 lands, one of which cycles. He takes.
I think he takes cost
Can't
out.
take the Vizier.
Because at this point in time, the cost out's one way his opponent can deal with this category. Okay, he takes Supreme.
He doesn't want the counter magic up. It depends on what's in his hand.
Why
He
I was
might
thinking he could take the cost out is because he can easily go end of your opponent's turn, Glimmer of Genius, force your opponent to try and counter that. If he doesn't, just untap, play a land, pass. He has a negate in hand anyway to play around the counter spell. And Taahir top decked a Dawn Pouncer.
Yeah, there's a Dawn Pouncer. Shaq says, sure, that's fine, I don't mind. I've got removal. This is okay. I'll kill everything you play. I feel like he's got space to play a tapped land here if he's got any. No, that's a Drowned Catacomb.
Will come into play.
Everything's going to come in untapped here.
Yeah, Harness Lightning,
Right there.
getting rid of the cat.
For now. Those tend to come back a little bit larger than they did when you first cast them. And in this game, 5 mana is not that far away.
And I did keep a bunch of lands.
Yeah, I think you just learned from the second game.
Yeah, unfortunately, does not have double blue at the moment. So Shaq probably going to play the Siphoner, hopefully bait out the cast out.
I wouldn't use a cast out on a Siphoner.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's a very versatile piece of removal. I feel like you could reasonably trade up on mana.
So I'm deciding whether or not he wants to cycle.
Yeah, Shaq is also quite likely to tap out for Scarab Guard just because of the fact that it's such a good card.
Unfortunately, though, it would not be worth it because he knows his opponent has cast out.
The cost out. Fair enough. I didn't consider that.
So declining to bring back his
Although
cat.
Playing around the cost out is easier than playing around the Supreme Will, because playing around Supreme Will is, I mean, you'll lose less cards, but you have to hold up 3 mana, whereas for cast out he only needs the extra 2 for the counter spell.
Sure. We are going to see.
Oh, and he does it!
On this side.
I did not see that coming.
And
Did Taahir find another piece of removal?
I don't believe so. He actually found the spell swindle.
He's got a spell swindle,
which isn't good enough at this point. His opponent's just going to play around everything. He just needs to ride Lindsay Siphon to victory at this point.
Yeah.
He can play Vizier. I do believe he is worried about his opponent's removal suite. That is why he probably did not bring back the Dawn Pouncer. So we are going to see a Dawn Pouncer come back from the yard here. Shaq at the moment has no way to deal with it. And he's going to lose 2 energy to draw a card.
Puts him down to 18 points of life. Was he drawn any before that?
Yes.
Okay, so he's on 18 now.
For those who missed it, he did cast Harness Lightning earlier, which gave him 2 energy.
Enough. So he's got plenty.
So he's got enough energy.
Into the cat. He's got menace. Aye. Silly me for getting that.
And now Shaq can just jam the Scarab Guard. There's not much that he can do about it.
He does get to make one of his own. And also Taahir has got a... Okay, he's just going to main phase Glimmer.
Not sure if that's the best option, but it is an option you can take.
I feel like this is a concession to Vizier of Many Faces, because if he plays the Scarab Guard now, Taahir can just play his Vizier, copy the Scarab Guard for 4 mana, hold up 3, and he's already got a zombie on board, so it'll start doing a little bit of work earlier than Shakeel's.
At the same time, though, he is taking 8 from the scan, and 8 is a lot.
That's a huge swing, actually. Wow.
And Shaq again drawing an extra
I
card.
don't think he considered that.
This could be the cat that wins the game. The cat's out of the bag, as they say. Or in this case, out the floodgates. Hitting for 8 is no joke.
Yeah, Shakeel's posture changed a lot there after that 8 damage. I think he felt like he was being the beatdown, and he just neglected the fact that cat's a 3-turn clock.
And yeah, Taahir can just hold up Spell Swindle.
And he's got Spell Swindle, he's got Torrential Gear Hulk, and he's still got the Vizier of Many Faces.
It's like, What are you doing, Shaq's seat here?
You got a pile of cards. I feel like he needs to try and get rid of the cat.
Unfortunately, he's not in a position where that's feasible.
T-Hulk. Okay, he's got something to do here.
So, funny
to
thing,
respond with.
he can respond to this Gulk with his own Gulk, then honest lighting the cat away.
Mm.
Whereas before, he was in no position to do that.
I give him a reasonable opportunity to play a big spell here. I mean, one black is not... What is that, a green? One forest? The forest isn't going to do anything. Yep, that's it. Here's my own Gearhulk.
Honest lightning, kill your cat.
Sure thing. What does Taahir have in the graveyard?
I think it's only a Supreme Will.
Sure. So he's going to dig a little deeper.
I think that was a bit of a greedy Gulk there. He was not in a position where he needed to cast Gulk.
Taahir gets to untap and freely play whatever he wants to now.
That's fair.
I mean, Shaq could have nothing, actually. There's nothing reasonable Taahir has to worry about for a black or a red mana. Dig sees cat. What looks like a settle the wreckage. Was the fumigate settle the wreckage?
Yeah, settle
a
the
search
wreckage.
for Scanter and an island.
I do believe he's probably going to
Settle's a
take
good
Settle.
one. Mhm.
Well,
Although with the amount of work that Kitty's been doing, maybe the fear of it is in Shakeel, and he just takes it. No, he takes the settle.
he did take Settle the Deckage. And he top takes a Fumigate.
Plenty of removal. He can't attack though.
Yeah, his opponent will definitely make the block. There isn't even a real target for this Vizier of Many Faces.
Passes the turn.
Holding up counter magic. Shaq can just attack with the Siphoner. Is not missing land drops. Has been drawing more cards the entire game. So I think he goes land Argyle's Bloodfast attack for 2.
Yeah, he's pretty close to flipping that. I did not think about the fact that Torrential Gale has sort of virtual haste
Yeah.
when you flash it in. So that is something that Shaq needs to consider when going very low to try and flip Argyle's Blood fast.
He's going to draw a card.
He's getting him down to 7.
Paying 2, cycling, drawing another card.
Untap.
So they're just having to pass back. And if he had been doing this with the cat, it would be game over for Shaq at this point.
Wow.
I honestly did not see.
Oh, there's a Glory Bringer.
So, like, I didn't see Shaq coming back into this.
I should answer this. Is it a spouse window? Or does he try and use the settle the wreckage here?
I think that's what he's considering.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
worth
probably the better
settling?
line. Settle the wreckage is nice here. Taahir most likely only having to worry about the Glory Bringer and the Glensleeve Siphon attacking. But I'll take that for 4 mana.
Okay, he
No.
is going to Spell Swindle. I think it's because he's actually constrained on mana at the moment. He's been missing land drops. And he actually has way more expensive cards in hand.
Draw a card? Is he going to activate the Bloodfast? He's got no non-creature counter magic in hand, Shakeel, I mean. So it is... We'll probably just see a bunch of treasure tokens here.
He's going to draw a
Okay,
card.
he's going to dig. Puts himself down. That's risky. That is risky.
Argos bad fast.
Absolutely
Flip.
hornswoggled.
Mm.
5 mana. What's up, mana drain? That's really good. Oh my word. That's huge. That's massive, actually.
And now 3 mana.
I'm not certain why Shaq has not been attacking with his Glint-Sleeve Siphoner.
I think he's scared of his opponent flashing a Torrential Gale and just killing him.
Sure. Torrential Gale, a lot like Dryad Arbor in this situation.
Schrodinger's Gyalk at this point.
Schrodinger's Gyalk.
And
oh
Taahir
man, there's
just
a
drew
massive
a ton
turn
of
for
cards.
Taahir.
Maybe we've missed a point of life gain or added an extra point of damage at this point.
Oh, Shaq hasn't flipped his blood
Yeah,
fast. There is
Shaq
a
hasn't-
May trigger though.
Not too sure how low he wants to go.
Can't make any assumptions about it. Let's see if we can get a life total update.
And 7 mana. What on earth is okay? Approach of the Saiyans. More than 7 mana.
It's a big Nissa. It's a huge Nissa. I think he's gonna smack for 10 in the air. This is gonna be game.
Yep.
That's it.
That seems like
Do you have the negate? Oh wow. Nissa taking the game. The spell swindle doing actually what he needed there.
I think that game was a lot messier than it should have been.
Yeah, there's both players trying to consider a lot more things than they needed to here. Of course, with perfect information, we can say a lot of stuff about this game.
We aren't the ones sitting there.
But hey, Nissa for 10 damage. So that puts Taahir up 1, and he's again closer to getting the invite for the final.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see you for game 2.